Of course that would happen, of course. Alright, okay, so yeah, I realize this is a little unusual. An afternoon start time, impromptu afternoon start time, but that happens sometimes, that happens. Okay, real reason for that. I'm trying to sidestep the possibility of being preempted here locally by NBA playoff basketball. So I'd figured I'd get an early stream, get an afternoon stream off while I can, while I have the opportunity to. It's for... Cause remember, hold on, I gotta do a little thing. Okay, now we're good, just a little last-minute housekeeping. But anyway, hello there, happy Saturday afternoon, at least where I'm at. Happy Saturday wherever you are, whoever you are, whenever you are. It is I, the Professor of Pugilism, the Archduke of Old School, the Lord of the Soup, the Man of the Hour, the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, Poncho Smith here. Welcome in. Welcome back. Let's engage. Let's dive into a little more, Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse. We finally got back to speaking, or assuming the role of, Mr. A. Barnum here, aka Avi, and his assistant, so to speak, Miss Cersei Lunarlight. But we grabbed a couple more birds here, so let's take a look-see. Okay, Mockingbird number 3, Grey Heron, the maverick leader of the tight-knit delinquent crew Rebels Roost. Temperamental by nature, he often flares the impressive crest on his head, and it is impressive, to intimidate intruders on his turf. Although long-term rivals with the Ocean Outlaws hooligan gang, in recent days he's also found his feathers ruffled by the increasingly bold antics of Blue's brutal beaks, pushing his patience to the limits. And I believe... who else did we get? Okay, Fairy Penguin, Mockingbird number 16, Little Blue, the leader of the hoodlum band Blue's brutal beaks, albeit in name only, the son of Ave's Academy's board chairman. He turned to delinquency in defiance of his father, who refused to accept tit for tat. The very first friend he ever made, although small in stature and timid by nature, those who have seen him cornered tell a different story, describing his berserk behavior of that as a bird possessed. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11 more pretty birds to find. But let us continue on with Avi's story here. We are looking for treasure that was divulged to us as much in last night's stream. Oh, okay, got a spill. Got an agua spill. Give me a moment to deal with that. Yeah, that went. Yeah, I got a little bit on the phone too. Oh, we'll wipe off the screen. Why not? Why not? Okay. Now we're all set. Now we're good to go. Okay. So we found out that our intrepid foreign pair was looking for treasure. They deduced the potential location of said treasure on the map that Avi that was bequeathed to Avi. Well, not the map specifically, but it was a map hidden in in one of those wooden in those old mermaid sculptures, bequeathed to him by his great-great-grandmother, I believe. Well, let's get going. Arnav Barnum, Treasure Hunt Part 2. Avi and Cersei's quest for immortality is in full swing. Having pinpointed a likely location on their mysterious map, they asked Kipe Ikoma to investigate it on their behalf. However, there's always a however. There's always a wrinkle in the plan. The next day... Hello, this is Ikoma. I'm calling about the seafloor investigation. I asked an Ama diver to investigate the area because I was keen to get results as soon as possible. However, she has not returned. Dun 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 dun. Okay, Ise Bay, offshore. I'm on a boat, motherfucker, I'm on a boat. Which is why we're headed out there ourselves to assess the situation. We've nothing else to do, after all. So we ask an Aaaaaaaand diver to investigate the sea floor in the area. I guess in a place like this it would be faster to hire an Aaaaaaaand than a regular diver. Even in this age, you can still get some Aamaas to do contracted dives, huh? Look at those bubble physics. It appears she was contracted to investigate for about an hour, at which point she was to return, even if empty-handed. I suppose the intent was just there for her to survey the area to start with. However, several hours passed, and with no word from the diver, I can see why Ikoma is worried. We'll start by checking out the location. We can request a police search after if need be. Circe, do you have a bad feeling about this? I do, ever since we first heard about this. I see. Oh, I thought she was going to have another line to follow that up with. Okay, but she'll follow this up. Oh, there's a strong negative spirit energy in the air that has only intensified as we approach the spot. Something happened there. The diver didn't make it back. Is it safe for us to go? I have a talisman that repels evil. It should be fine. Well, if you say so, worst comes to worst, we'll reunite in the afterlife. Understood. Leave it to me. She's not flapped by that at all. Either she's confident that no one's going to die, or she's looking forward to the sweet release of death to get away from Avi. There's something there! Oh, that must be the Aaaaaand diver's boat. There doesn't appear to be anyone around. How unsettling. You're right, there's something terrible here. Alright. Is it really that bad? It is, I can even tell from this distance. It's coming from the bucket. It's saturated with sinister spiritual energy. There's some real powerful curse inside. Inside the bucket? Does that mean that the Aaaaaand diver found something on the seafloor and brought it up to the surface? And perhaps succumbed to the curse while trying to get it out? Yes, unfortunately. Okay, as we cannot say for certain what misfortune this curse may call forth, I need you to remain cautious. Can you dispel curses, Circe? It depends on the curse itself, but I believe I may be able to handle one of this caliber. That's a relief. Is it really safe for us to approach the boat, though? Yes, it's fine. For me, at least. Understood. If anything happens to me, then, I'll leave the rest to you. Yeah, we didn't have, boat animations in the first Paranormasight game. Oh my! There's a small metal box in the bucket. This has to be the source. Can we take it? Yes, provided I can overpower the malice it's engulfed in. Ah! That was it! It should be safe to touch now. I'll leave that part to you, dumbass. No problem. It's just a damn block. A tungsten block. Whatever that element is that people like to keep around as paperweights. It's, pretty heavy. What do you think this box is, exactly? It appears to be quite old. It likely dates back to the same time period as your map. Here, take a look at the symbol on top of the box. Do you recognize it from anywhere? We saw it on the map. Oh, this is the strange symbol we saw on the map. It's thus fair to say that the map was leading us towards this exact box. That only makes its identity all the more intriguing. There's some strange lines on the side. Perhaps it's some sort of pattern. It appears to be open from the top, but it's not budging at all. It would take quite a lot of strength to force it open. I believe this box has been sealed with powerful spiritual energy. It was probably sealed by a skilled sorcerer a long time ago. I doubt it will open by any normal means. I can feel something shifting whenever I turn it. There must be some kind of mechanism inside. Then I suppose you'll want to align the box with the spiritual energy of this place. In English, please.
It is likely that the mechanism for unlocking the box is activated by orienting the box in the right directions in the right order.
I see, so I have to figure out where to point it. Leave it to me. Okay. The weather is great and the sea is calm, yet there's something unsettling in the air.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Are you trying to scare me? Did we get anything we can look at on le boat? Did anyone leave any stickers on the boat? Surroundings, near shore. Oh, the closest shore to us is the east side of Shima Peninsula. You got a good view from here. I think I can see all the way from Ijika to Kuzaki.
That's right, both have a lot of ama, but Kuzaki is especially known as a holy ground for ama divers.
Near shore, surroundings, fishing boat. Oh, the boat of the ama diver who found the metal box. There is not a trace of life left on it. According to Ikoma, the ama diver went to investigate alone without a companion to mind the boat. I swallowed my fear and tugged on the rope earlier on the off chance that she was still down there somewhere. I pulled up the whole length of rope, but no one was tied to it. A fishing boat without a soul aboard drifts on the lonely waves. Okay. Surroundings. I thought getting rocked by the waves on a small boat like this might make her seasick, but she looks fine so far. I had no idea we'd encounter a curse today. It's a good thing Circe was there.
It's possible this area is key to getting the box open, so we should try to figure it out before leaving.
Got it. Okay, look at the box. Now then, how to open this metal box? I should investigate the box and rotate it so I can get a good look at all four sides. Okay. So I'm wondering... Let's see. Okay, I think we need to get it to correspond. Like with these islands. See, that lines up, it looks like it lines up with that. See, no islands. Let's see. So you've got 2 dots on the bottom, 3. 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, good thing we're getting this out of the way early. Let's see. Okay. So I feel like this should be representative of the clouds here. And as we gradually rotate, and I guess towards a western direction... No. See, I would assume this would be the starting point. Then we got the small island there, and then a spot between 2 of the larger ones. See, if we started here... No. No, wait, that doesn't quite line up. I have to orient the box in the right direction, but what is the right way? The patterns on the box's sides are quite intriguing. They must be related to the solution somehow. Okay, Hmm. What to do, what to do. Okay, the closest shore to us is the east side of the Shima Peninsula. Okay. Touched on that already. Alright, you got a suggestion for me?
Okay, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I figured out the mechanism. Should I tell you?
Go ahead, I'm a broad-minded man. I was raised to accept help when it's offered.
If you say so.
Okay, we saw the dots.
On the bottom of each side of the box are between 1 and 4 dots. Could it be that those dots indicate the order in which the box must be aligned?
You might be onto something, so I solve the side with the dot 1 first. Or solve the side with 1 dot first, then the other 3 in the right order.
That's what I suspect anyway. Good luck.
Patterns on the box. Oh. Hmm. One. So that's 2, which brings us to, I guess, this batch of islands. It doesn't look like it matches up that well. Like maybe with some overlapping mountains? I don't know, do I have to hold it towards the sun? Okay. What to do, what to do. See, I do wish they kind of gave you a little more to work with here. This is incredibly obtuse right now. Yeah, sure.
Okay, there are lines on all 4 of the box's sides. Perhaps those lines match something around us. Have you looked around?
See, I think it would be... I would expect it to line up with you know, the, like the position of the islands here. But the thing is, I'm not Okay. See, I was wondering why I wasn't getting any, like, feedback. I guess she had to, like, sort of move around until something reacted. Oh, I felt something move inside the box. I must be on the right track.
Nice, keep at it.
Okay. So we've got to get this to line up. No, that's 2. Okay. And that first one was kind of an accident. Gotta get that to line up with something. Okay. Alright, I'm on fire. That's 2. Okay. See, I wasn't sure what kind of feedback the game would be giving me. Okay, it's here. I found it.
Good job, just one left.
See, but what does this line up with then? That last one be... Okay. Yes, it's open!
Congratulations! What's inside?
Let's see... Oh? What is this? Some kind of small wooden carving.
Oh?
Curse stone acquired. Curse of the Forsaken Fish. Whoa, something came out! Yikes, what is this? Make it stop! A deep and painful, resentful memory has invaded my mind. Oh, okay, they did a bunch of this in the first game. Drift forever, evildoers, be as fish perish. Oh, you have acquired the Curse Stone, Curse of the Forsaken Fish. You can use it to turn people into fish and kill them when they are submerged in the water of Issei Bay. It can even be used at a distance, provided the target meets the requirements. Press the Use Curse button when you wish to use the curse. Oh. Oh, okay. Curse of the Forsaken Fish, a curse born from the final moments of Hayase, a mermaid brutally tortured to death by humans on Taishima around 400 years ago. The curse has the power to kill any human submerged in the waters of Issei Bay by gradually turning them into a fish starting from their feet. However, the excruciating pain suffered during the transformation often results in them dying before the metamorphosis is complete. The bodies of those who succumb to the curse decay almost instantly, shriveling up into desiccated, fibrous masses. The curse can also be triggered remotely, provided that the curse bearer knows the victim's exact location. Mermaids inherently possess the ability to turn humans into fish at will. The Curse of the Forsaken Fish is the result of that ability being turned into a conditional curse and sealed within a curse stone. Okay, so they have to be in the water. They have to be in the waters of Issei Bay. There's that condition. Is there anything else? Oh. What the hell was that?
I'm not certain. But I believe we may have just acquired a curse tool known as a curse stone. However, they are rarely possessed by such powerful curse echoes. How lucky!
If you are truly congratulating me, then I'll happily celebrate with you, but can I ask you something first?
Of course.
Am I cursed? Am I going to die?
I wouldn't say you are cursed per se. There was a similar case in Tokyo last year.
Hold on a minute, I cannot think straight. This is far too overwhelming. An incredible amount of information flooded my mind just now. I need a moment to settle before I can take in anything else.
Oh, you must mean the resentful memory held by the curse. It's a phenomenon wherein the events leading up to the curse formings are passed on to the curse bearer so that its grudge will spread. And curse bearer refers to someone who is haunted by a curse echo and thus able to use the curse.
Oh, stop! I already told you I can't take any new information. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Okay, yeah, okay, curse echoes are the visual manifestations of curses. These manifestations are fundamentally related to the origin of the curse, but they do not always take the same shape, sometimes appearing in a more abstract or disfigured form instead. Unlike spirits, there are manifested illusions, and as such, have no consciousness of their own. A person afflicted by a curse that has a curse echo is called a curse bearer. Even among curses, a curse that contains a curse echo should be considered very powerful in and of itself. Ordinarily, those with no spirit sense would not be able to perceive a curse echo, but such individuals who become curse bearers by coming into possession of a curse stone or some other means can see other curse echoes. I think I learned White Taishima song 400 years ago. Let me sort all of that out first.
Really? Tell me, tell me. Dime, dime.
Yeah, give me a minute. Are we gonna do the screen wipe lore drop? No, not this time. We're doing the fade to black lore drop. Thank you for investigating the situation for me. I was involved in an accident many years ago, so I can't bring myself to go out to sea anymore. You've been a tremendous help. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We actually got our hands on something quite valuable, so we owe you thanks as well. That's great. I'd love to hear more about what you discovered, if you don't mind. Of course. Okay, We're currently at the mouth of Kamo River. There's a residential area further upstream. It seems like Mystery Coma had just arrived in Toba, so we managed to meet up without any problems. Bridge. He may look scary, but his demeanor is surprisingly gentle and kind. He's a very polite young man. People like him tend to be misunderstood because they're a little awkward. He must struggle with that kind of thing a lot. The diver I hired to perform the search was an Ama diver living in Toba City by the name of Tommy Kosuma. I thought there was no way we could pull off the search, but that's when she agreed to take on my request. I feel terrible about what happened. I can only hope that she's still out there, somewhere, unharmed. She had no way of knowing how dangerous this job was. Please, I'm the one who sent her out there. If there is blame to take, it is mine. But still, what exactly happened out there? About that, let's start with this metal box the Ama diver found. Please do. So basically, this wooden carving we found inside the metal box, or this is the metal carving we found inside the metal box. I see, so your map indicated the location of this wooden carving. We believe so. The question is why? Why go all the way to not just hide it, but to conceal the map in a mermaid mummy? How very intriguing. I suppose a carving like that would have had some value back in the day, but to go through all the effort to preserve it like this? I believe what was preserved was not the carving itself, but the mermaid's memory that was stored inside the curse. Dun dun dun. The curse? Dun dun what now? That's right, in other words, one who made that box entrusted it with a message, and we are the recipients. Please calm down. I'm feeling quite lost.
I know you're quite excited, but I think we have no choice but to start explaining the curse.
That's right. It's curse chit-chat time. You may be a bit too rational to believe what I'm about to tell you, Mystery Coma. Even so, I ask that you try your best. Huh? If you're ready to hear it, I'm ready to say it. Come, give me your answer in the next 3 seconds. 3. I'm prepared. Please tell me. Okay, now we're doing the screen wipe lore dump. So I see. The talisman mermaid known as Hayase was killed by raiders. The hatred she left behind became a curse that entered this wooden carving. You, Avi, then inherited her curse in addition to information from 400 years ago in the form of a resentful memory.
You absorbed all that quite efficiently. I'm impressed.
This is actually not the first time I've heard not the first time I've heard of what can happen if one touches a curse stone. Oh? Yes, but let's save that conversation for later. More importantly, you know what actually went down on Taishima 400 years ago.
That's right, I know the truth, all of it. What happened, what it didn't, I know it.
You seem a bit frazzled. Do you need more time to collect your thoughts?
There's no need to worry, I am prepared, but it will take some time to explain. It's time to reveal what truly happened 400 years ago to Taishima and the mermaids.
Please, do tell.
Fade to black. Oh, okay, we're doing this. Around 400 years ago, the area of Shima Province, which included Taishima, was governed by the Kuki clan. The leader of the clan at the time was Kuki Sumitaka, and it was his duty to protect the secret of the 3 mermaids living on Taishima.
That must have been Sobe, Nagame, and Hayase.
However, the legend that its eating mermaid flesh could grant immortal life was well known. So we secretly hid them on Taishima so no one would learn about their existence. It appears that Sumitaka thought of the mermaids as sacred or divine, existence. The thought of seeking immortality for himself likely never crossed his mind. The land where the mermaids lived was a sanctuary that he fiercely protected at all costs.
In other words, Taishima was an island where people worshipped the mermaids in secret.
Indeed, it meant that the people living on the island were not simple commoners, but guards tasked with protecting the sanctuary and its mermaids. Sumitaka was so dedicated to keeping the mermaids secret that he kept the existence of Taishima out of historical records. The public believed that the island was entirely uninhabited.
I see. By keeping its existence hidden, he was able to keep the mermaids safe.
However, a vassal of Sumitaka's uncle, Yoshitaka, learned about the mermaids on Taishima. He passed this information on to Yoshitaka, who believed obtaining immortality was a must to rise to the top in an era that was often plagued by war. He commanded his vassal to lead his army to Taishima and do whatever he had to in order to return with the flesh of a mermaid. Sumitaka and those on the island resisted, but the invading army was far too powerful. The island was swiftly overrun. Ultimately, Hayase was captured and brought before the vassal. The vassal tortured her, demanding she grant him the power of immortality. But Hayase did not yield even to the most hellish torments. She screamed and cursed with despair and anger until her dying breath.
That's horrible!
The hatred Hayase felt at the moment of her death led to the creation of the curse of the Forsaken Fish. Fish. And that is what I learned from the resentful memory inside the curse stone. Resentful memory. But, to be honest, that is only half.
Half of what?
Half of the memories, the other half of the memories of the one who left behind the metal box. Namely, the story of how the curse of the Forsaken Fish became a curse stone. Okay, so now we talk about the box itself.
That reminds me, I meant to ask about the metal box. If it's been lying on the seafloor for 400 years, how come it wasn't discovered until now?
It was most likely sealed inside a rock or something until a few months ago.
So it was sealed away until a certain amount of time had passed?
No, I believe the box unsealing may have been triggered by something.
Having failed to obtain immortality, the vassal flew into a rage. He had all inhabitants of Taishima slaughtered as revenge for keeping the secret.
This guy was the worst!
Finally, he's continued his advance into the sanctuary the islanders had protected, down to the last man. There he destroyed its shrine. What irony that he came so close to the secret that he had been so desperate to find.
Are you saying that the other 2 mermaids were still in the sanctuary?
No, they had already fled Taishima. Actually, there were 2 other survivors. Sumitaka's adopted daughter, Princess Hatsune, also escaped the chaos of the invasion unscathed and became a Vocaloid. There was one other islander who managed to survive as well, taking with him the treasure the mermaids had protected.
The mermaid's treasure?
This may shed some light on the descendant you spoke of earlier.
Of course, she must be a descendant of the man that escaped that day.
We now know she was correct when she spoke of the 3 mermaids living on Taishima.
So we do.
Putting descendants aside for now, let's return to 400 years ago. The vassals' invasion and destruction of the sanctuary was like a trigger. As a reaction to the sanctuary's fate and their own ill-deserved deaths, the sorrow and hatred of the islanders swirled together and formed into the curse of the raging waves, a natural disaster that shook the heavens when it descended upon Taishima. The curse bombarded Taishima with violent winds, earthquakes, and thunder. Then, in a final act to protect Taishima's lost sanctuary, they sank it into the sea to destroy all evidence of it ever existing.
They destroyed it?
The small island of Taishima sunk swiftly under the waves. The vassal and all of his men were, of course, all killed, thanks to the curse. But one problem remained.
That wasn't the end of it?
Still going. Taishima was destroyed by the natural disasters caused by the curse of the raging waves. But the calamity continued for many days. It must have seemed as though it would never end.
I can't imagine how terrifying it must have been.
Sumitaka even sought out a famous onmyoji to dispel the curse, but he was unsuccessful. The curse would eventually sink to the bottom of the sea, alongside the sanctuary, and be sealed there. Only then did the calamity end. Yet it appears this curse was so powerful that it required a sacrifice to truly be sealed.
A sacrifice?
Oh, not just anyone, but a living one. Princess Hatsune offered herself up to be that sacrifice.
You said she was Sumitaka's adopted daughter, yes? And that she lived on Taishima?
That appears to be the case. Sumitaka was evidently so taken with her that he decided to adopt her.
The rumors that she threw herself down a well was likely spread to cover up the real cause of her death.
Oh, wait, I skipped her line.
That appears to be the case. Sumitaka was evidently so taken with her that he decided to adopt her, then made up the cause of death.
So Princess Hatsune was actually sacrificed.
The seal would hold for 400 years. They must have hoped that the curse itself would fade during that time, too. However, the curse of the forsaken fish created by Hayase also continued to linger in the same place. So the onmyoji sealed it inside the wooden carving, turning it into a curse stone. Then the same onmyoji, knowing that the seal would only last for 400 years, stored his memories within the curse stone to pass on this information.
He wished to pass down his knowledge for others to use in the event the curse outlasted the 400-year lifespan of the seal. He left behind instructions on how to completely dispel the curse of the raging waves.
Indeed, I've compiled it all in my files. Okay, curse. Raging waves, curse bearer. Okay, in the event that the curse did not fade during the 400 years it was sealed, the onmyoji originally responsible for sealing the curse left behind a plan to dispel it. It was his belief that the curse's power would have weakened enough by that point that performing the following steps would be enough to lift the curse completely. First, thou must unbind thy seal risen from the depths with the iron box. Okay, so we've done that. Second, thou must offer the still-tied mirror bequeathed by the sacrifice to the sanctuary. Okay, I think we were involved with that with Sato and Tsuyu. Okay, third, let those who share blood with the lost souls of Taishima be the ones to offer appeasement. I guess that would be Yuza, since he was the survivor of the sea disaster. Okay. Alright. Okay, so that's... So we just did part 1, Sato's part 2, Yuza's part 3. I think we might have to do a wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey at some point.
So that's what happened.
And that wraps it up. I got it all that info beamed into my brain in a flash, and yet I still managed to present it as an enticing narrative. How amazing was that?
You're utterly astounding. Wow, incredible.
Okay, invasion of Taishima. We kind of went through that already. Okay, ravaged, a relic, and a man named Somekawa. Alright. That's the Onmyonji that we're talking about. Okay, the bronze mirror. Yeah, again, in our dealings with Sato, that's where that came up. Wooden accessory, that's what we have now. Okay. Yeah. Go over it at our own pace. Okay, so we're done with that. We can talk about... I compiled all the details of the story in these files, so feel free to go over it at our own pace. Oh, thank you. Guess we can talk about the diver now. After Misuma found the metal box, you mean to tell me that she's died?
It is likely. If we consider that the curse of the Forsaken Fish had completely saturated the metal box, it is likely already too late for her.
How horrible! Since she likely turned into a fish and died soon thereafter, there is a high chance her transformed body will wash up on the shore soon. Now we're going to go back to Taishima. Are we all good there? Do I need to run something by you then?
Wait a second.
Is something wrong?
Avi, if someone is affected by the curse of the Forsaken Fish, the transformation starts at the feet and travels slowly up, yes?
I believe so, though it's hard to say for sure without witnessing it.
If it is true, then that may explain the true identity of the fish mermaids discovered in this area. It could have been the bodies of those who died in the middle of transforming due to the curse of the Forsaken Fish.
Ooh, that's a convincing theory. Fish mermaids have been recorded as having only human heads or faces, or appearing human just from the chest or shoulders up. If the curse starts at the feet and travels upward, that would explain the variety of fish mermaids that have appeared.
The process is so painful that most die mid-transformation. Then the curse causes the corpse to rapidly wither, forming a fibrous mass.
Oh, God!
It may even be the true identity of your mermaid mummy.
Interesting. Still, without analyzing it directly, there is no way to know that for certain. But perhaps this is why the mermaid mummies originating from Japan are of such high quality?
Of course, this doesn't mean that all fish mermaids and mermaid mummies are authentic.
But it means there's a possibility.
Any number of fish mermaids could actually be the victims of this curse.
Okay, I guess we'll head over to you again.
Actually, I just remembered there were 2 points from your tale I wanted to discuss.
About the events 400 years ago?
My first point concerns the vassal who tortured the mermaid in an attempt to obtain immortality. If all he needed was the mermaid's flesh, what necessity would there be in torturing her?
Oh, that's true. It could mean that the vassal ate the mermaid's flesh but did not become immortal. So we tortured her to figure out why.
As for the second observation, I have a theory about the area you described as the sanctuary. Could it possibly be referring to an entrance to Ryugu?
Ryugu?
It is sometimes referred to as the Eternal World or the World Beyond. In some legends, mermaids are priestesses who serve the ruler of Ryugu, the god of the sea.
I see. If the sanctuary was actually an entrance to Ryugu, then that could mean that the mermaids were not living on Taishima but merely traveling there from Ryugu.
Yes, I believe that to be the case. It would also explain why the destruction of the sanctuary would inspire the fury of the god of the sea. To be honest, it's difficult to believe that the grudges of the inhabitants of Taishima would be enough to explain what happened. How could they possibly engender a curse powerful enough to sink an island and linger for more than 400 years? However, it's quite easy to believe that a curse from Ryugu could maintain such power.
That also explains the necessity of a living sacrifice. Of course, one would be required to seal an entrance to Ryugu. But if the entrance to Ryugu was sealed, what became of the two mermaids that fled Taishima?
I doubt Sobei and Nagame managed to return to Ryugu. I believe they have been living here in the human world for the past 400 years, waiting for the seal to be lifted. They just hid somewhere away from human eyes.
If that is true, then they've been successfully hiding for over 400 years.
Of course, if they were to hide themselves at the bottom of the sea, it'd be practically impossible to find them. It's also possible they've been wandering the globe rather than lingering in one place.
That could explain all the mermaid sightings around the world. They could all be the same, too.
Oh, this discussion of hiding made me realize something.
What is it?
Do you recall the story Mr. Ikoma told us yesterday of the mermaid who became human?
Ugh. Are you suggesting she decided to join the human society because she could not return to Ryugu?
It's a possibility we should consider.
But that occurred only a few decades ago. Why would she decide to become human just before the seal was released?
Perhaps her circumstances changed. We can only speculate on the motivations of someone who has lived for centuries. It is possible she did not feel compelled but decided to become human out of her own desire.
Could she have met someone who she wanted to live a mortal life with, like in The Little Mermaid?
Oh, that is certainly possible and quite romantic, too.
I'll have to write this down. It could make a solid novel.
Oh, I've just realized something.
What is it?
You heard about this mermaid from the descendant of the Taishima survivor, yes?
That's correct. I feel it's only right that they are informed of the things we learned. We'd love to talk to her. We're quite curious about this mermaid treasure, too. It must have been passed down to them through the generations. I understand. I'll probably drop by her place later anyway, since I also have to handle the matter with Miss Suma. I'll discuss it with her then. Oh, thanks. That'd be great. That said, in return, I have a favor to ask of you. Go ahead. We will do whatever we can. You said that the seal over the entrance to Ryugu has been lifted. Is that correct?
Yes, it has most likely been gone for several months now.
Oh, really?
A horrible curse has been swirling around the area where Taishima used to be. It's possible that the curse is the curse of the raging waves, and it surged up from Ryugu once more now that the seal has been lifted. The fact that we were able to open the metal box is proof enough that the seal has faded.
That would mean the entrance to Ryugu is now open.
Huh. Well, the situation is quite unstable now with the curse of the raging waves seeping in through the entrance.
At any rate, what did you want us to do? There is an island called Kamishima that is located quite close to where Taishima once was. There is something I would like you to do for me there. This request does, in fact, have some relation to our current conversation. Oh? Okay, date unknown. Ryokan guest room.
Now then, Avi. We decided to tell Ikoma everything, but I know there is some information you kept from him.
Oh, did I?
Yes, something from the mermaid's memories. The real way to obtain immortality.
Oh, that's right. I see no reason to inform him about it. After all, no matter what he may say about tourist attractions, this guy is also after immortality. I saw him straighten up when you talked about the mermaid being tortured because her captor required more than her flesh for immortality.
Are you sure? I thought his goal, even if he had one, was to quell the curse of the raging waves.
Perhaps there's that too. He even asked us to go to Kamishima and find the still-tide mirror in his stead. You did mention lifting the curse required the mirror as well as the help of the Taishima descendant, right?
There was also something about lifting a seal first, but I don't know what that part's all about.
Well, I see no harm in quelling the curse, so I say we continue to cooperate for now.
Agreed, though I do wish we did not have to approach Kamishima at all. The evil atmosphere is nauseating.
However, we must consider the possibility that Ikoma actually has his eyes set on the mermaids in Ryugu. It's possible he may be searching for mermaids like us. I suppose that discussion can wait for later. First, we must find the treasure that the survivor managed to slip out of Taishima.
You mean the treasure required in addition to the mermaid flesh when attempting to gain immortality?
Yes. The treasure known as the, Tamate Bako. Mermaid flesh has to be put inside and purified by it to have any effect. So, provided one has both the flesh of a human mermaid and a Tamate Bako, then immortality is indeed attainable. Boom! Tamate Bako, a box often referred to as a relic used by the mermaids who once lived near Taishima. A similar box also made its appearance in the tale of Urashima Taro as the box gifted to the eponymous protagonist by Otihime, leading to the name becoming widely... Okay. That's... Okay. Okay, so they need mermaid flesh. Okay, understood.
If we could meet with a Taishima descendant, they could probably provide us with information on Tamate Bako.
I concur. If we could get our hands on the Tamate Bako, we wouldn't have to worry about Ikoma. However, it's likely he is wary of us and will keep us from meeting the descendant.
At the very least, we know he's cautious enough to keep her name secret. Well, that's why I asked him to hand her our little souvenir.
What was that all about, anyway? You sure we're not going to need that iron box?
I doubt we will need it again, plus you can think of it as a backup plan.
Regardless of what happens, we'll be able to meet with the descendant tomorrow. Let's get our hands on that mermaid treasure. Time to find a Tamate Bako.
Okay!
Ooh, alright. So that opened up. Yeah, the Tamate Bako. Let's see how their search goes here. Let me get a little more water first. Okay, the Tamate Bako, a treasure required to obtain immortality, Ave assumes that the descendant of Taishima, whom Ikoma knows has inherited it, he tries to scheme a way to meet with them. Okay. Okay, afternoon, Ijika Town. Hello again. Arnav Barnum's back on the scene. Allow me to summarize. As expected, Ikoma contacted us today, telling us we'd have to wait a little longer before we could meet the descendant. Thus, figuring he had no intention of letting us meet her anyway, we decided to use Circe's ability to go looking for the descendant ourselves.
Who exactly are you talking to?
I'm merely setting the scene. Really feels like it raises the stakes, no? Makes it feel more like a thrilling adventure.
Sure, you got me all worked up. But I'm trying to concentrate, so could you please stop distracting me?
Oh, right. Sorry. See, I wonder if we could locate a sticker here. Oh, wait, we were here as Yumeko. Never mind. This is the town of Ijika in Toba City. The area is one of many in the area renowned for its Alma divers. Surroundings. If she's still concentrating. She seems focused. Best not to interrupt her now. I can think. Circe is using her dowsing ability to search for the descendant right now. What's that? Doesn't her dowsing only let us look for spiritual energy? And on top of that, doesn't she have to be familiar with the energy she's looking for? That's right, I was thinking the same thing. However, Circe was perfectly prepared. Before parting with Ikoma yesterday, she asked him to hand the iron box to the Descendant when he paid her a visit. She said that the Descendant ought to have it since it is so deeply connected to Taishima's history. Ikoma agreed on the matter and would happily go through with it, assuming he did hand it over. Then the iron box, with its massive amount of spiritual energy, has fallen right into the lap of our target. Now Circe just has to use her dowsing to locate the box. At least that's the plan. However, her dowsing range is limited. With the spiritual energy of the iron box possesses, its range is probably just 2 or 3 kilometers. So we had to narrow down the target area somewhat before starting our search. So, any idea where we might start looking for the Descendant?
I think. Mr. Ikoma said something about visiting her several times before she finally agreed to talk, didn't he?
He did, which would mean that she must live close enough for him to have paid her frequent visits.
Yes, exactly. So I think it'd be best to start by searching the towns within Toba.
I see, but there are quite a few towns in the area, right?
About that, when we parted yesterday, Mr. Ikoma mentioned something else that stuck with me. When you asked to meet the Descendant, he said he'd probably drop by later anyway, since he also had to handle the matter with Miss Suma.
Alright. He did say that. So, basically, he said he would like to drop by while he was in the area, so they likely lived close to one another.
Yes, I was thinking the same. Those towns with many Ama divers are our top candidates.
So that means we should probably start by searching all the towns in Toba that are home to a lot of Ama divers.
That's right, we can make our way up by searching along the coast for starters.
It'd be nice if we'd at least learned the Descendant's name.
We might have a lead on that. Think of your research into the past of this place.
Alright. I believe the name was Taishima. Hold on, files. Your stones. Okay. Descendant's name might have a lead on that. Think of your research. Let's see. See, that's okay. Dun dun. Mermaid. I need something that mentions Taishima specifically. Hmm. Okay, invasion of Taishima. Ayase was captured. Let's see. Let's see, Somekawa. The two surviving islanders were Princess Hatsune, Somekawa. Some... Somekawa! That's what Taishima survivor was called. If there are any descendants, then they may still bear the same name.
That's right, it's another clue we can follow.
And so we ended up spending the morning traveling along the coast from one fishing town to another. This is the 4th town we've searched so far. It's about time we actually find something. So, Circe, what's the situation? What's the 411, Mary Jane?
Wanna give it a try?
Oh, really? Will it still work if it's me?
I'll still be holding the pendulum, but you can see for yourself if you'd like.
Color me intrigued. I'm in.
Alright, just like this. I'll hold the pendulum, direct me to move in different directions to see where it reacts.
Very well. Bring it on. Okay.
The pendulum won't respond right away, so the trick is to point it in one direction and wait a while. Once you find the spot where it reacts the strongest, just shout that you figured it out.
Got it. When it comes to yelling, I'm your guy. Now, does it swing more wildly? See, it's kind of a little tricky to discern. Oh. We got something. It's wobbling. It's wobbling. There. Right there.
Not quite. The reaction should be much stronger than that. It takes a little time for it to react, so if you move around too fast...
Okay. Well, we're somewhere. Now it's a little slower now. See, that's a lot slower. Okay, now it's starting to pick up a little bit of speed. Okay. There, right there.
You got it!
So that means it's somewhere up there?
Well, it may still be a bit further out, but at least we figured out what direction to go.
I knew it was about time we hit the right spot. Alright, let's follow this thing and see where it leads us.
Right!
Walk.
This is it. It's an apartment furthest back on this building's ground floor.
Got it. Hello? Anybody home?
Wow, you don't hesitate, huh?
We're here on behalf of a mystery coma. No answer. Guess no one's home.
No, I can sense a presence.
Hello? We'd like to talk about the iron box. What gave her? I gave her a blimey. What is it?
You two. Avi and Cersei, is it? So you're the ones who found that iron box.
Oh, I made her Irish now. Sorry, I can't keep track.
Yes, that's right. You know, I've never talked to foreigners before, so I'm nervous. I can hardly think straight.
Please, no need to be so tense, Miss Somekawa. I promise we're both harmless and cheerful.
Right.
Oh, there is nowhere to rotate around now. Allow me to emphasize... Emphasize! What an honor it is to meet a descendant of Taishima.
Huh. Who's to say it's even true?
I suppose your family must have lived in this town for generations?
Oh. Nah, I moved here a couple years back.
Oh, why's that?
Oh, that got nothing to do with the two of you.
Ah, fair enough. Then if you don't mind me asking, do you have any other family or relatives, Miss Somekawa?
Why?
Apologies, I was merely wondering if there are any other descendants.
Dunno. But I'm probably the only one left. That too will come to an end soon enough.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
No more than what I said.
So, do you live here by yourself, Miss Somekawa?
That's right. Where exactly did you come across the iron box?
I followed this map that was in my family's possession. Supposedly it was left behind by the Onmyoji, who sealed away the curse of the Taishima.
A map, you say?
It led us to the iron box. It must have been resting at the bottom of Issei Bay. Since it's such a valuable artifact deeply connected to Taishima's lost history, we felt we absolutely had to tell you about it, Miss Somekawa.
Oh, yeah?
If I may say so, I noticed your interest in the iron box. Could it be you already knew of its existence?
I didn't know it was a box, but I'd been told something still remained of it on the island.
Remained of the island? That makes sense.
Speaking of that box, I don't suppose there were something inside.
Yes, inside was a record detailing how Taishima was destroyed, along with information on the curse of the raging waves.
A record?
Oh, allow me to fill you in on the details. Screen wipe lore drop, again. And that sums it up. Such a horrid man, wouldn't you say? Massacring the people of Taishima because he wanted to find a mermaid that bad. The grudges left behind by the events coalesced into two separate curses, and ultimately Taishima was destroyed along with everything else. I'm sure it must be excruciating to hear of the tale of how your ancestors' home was destroyed. But I believe the story should be passed down so people can learn of Taishima's true history. Wouldn't you agree?
And that was all recorded in that box?
All recorded in the box.
All recorded in the box.
By the way, you may consider this the curious whims of a fantasy author, but would you be able to elucidate? That's how you say it, elucidate. Elucidate me on the stories that have been passed down in your family? Oh, now I get it. You also came here because you also want to ask about mermaids, huh? Ugh. Alright, you got me there, it's true. But can you blame me? As a fantasy author, it is in my blood. If mermaids truly do exist, then I must sate my curiosity. Huh, I knew it. Whatever your motives are, you're not getting the Tommy Tobacco. I'm not falling for one of Ikoma's schemes. Ugh. I'm not going to share the family's legends of Tashima with just anyone. Did you just say that Ikoma is after the Tommy Tobacco? Oh, so you didn't know? Well, he is. That's exactly why I hid it somewhere no one will ever find it. I see. Must be very precious to you, then. Well, I'm relieved that Iron Box has found its way to you, then. So, was there a curse stone inside the Iron Box? A curse what? Don't play dumb, there must have been one. Well... So, you already knew about it. There was indeed a curse stone inside. Huh, that's what I thought. And how about a trade? You want the Tommy Tobacco, don't you? Oh, a trade? I didn't think we'd be going this far out. You certainly shook me when you said we had to take a boat all of a sudden. To think that the Tommy Tobacco would be hidden at sea. What an incredible plot twist. My apologies, I guess that's just the writer in me coming through. This is all too thrilling. You sure can talk. Oh, believe it or not, I'm actually holding back. I can go on and on at great length once I get started. That wasn't praise. There's nowhere to run on an island. No matter where you go, someone's always near. It's always too loud, grating on the ears. The sea, though, once you get this far out, it's nice and quiet. Nothing but the sound of the waves, no talking, no irritating folk for commotion, only fish swimming without a sound. This is fine. Stop the boat. Okay. No other stickers on the boat. So, will you tell me what you want to trade the Tommy Tobacco now? Or what you want to trade for the Tommy Tobacco now? You've got the Forsaken Fish Stone Curse with you, right? Or the Forsaken Curse Stone with you? Sure do. Have a good look. The Forsaken Fish Curse Stone. That looks like the real deal, all right. You want to trade the stone for the Tommy Tobacco, right? I figured as much. Well, I'm fine with those terms. Let's do it. No, that ain't it. Oh, that ain't it? You know, I once had a sister. Her name was Mari Somakawa. You say you had a sister. Does that mean? Yes, she's gone. Died in an accident at sea about 5 years ago. I see. My condolences. So there actually was another descendant. You folks seem to be pinning your hopes on me just because I'm one of the descendants. But the one who actually inherited our duty wasn't me. It was my sister. Your duty? That's right. The duty of the Taishima bloodline. It's been passed down in our family for generations. Even more, our generation would be the one to handle the 400th year since the disaster. My grandpa always said that was particularly important. So there was a duty Taishima's descendants were meant to perform after 400 years.
But I was young back then. I still had dreams of my own. I wanted no part in some annoying duty, so I ran away from home the first chance I got. I pushed all that responsibility onto my sister, but I know I should have helped her.
I see, so that's why your sister was the one who inherited that duty. She looks so solemn, I wonder what's going through her mind. Not going to lie, I'm a little concerned she still hasn't told me the conditions of our trade. This duty you mentioned, was it to break what remains of the curse of the raging waves?
I suppose they were connected, but... lifting the curse would have been a step along the road, but it wasn't the goal.
Oh, really? What was it?
Well... it was to return the mermaid that was left behind in Issei Bay to Ryugu. That was the real duty of the Taishima bloodline.
Return a mermaid? Oh, it's true. There really was a mermaid stuck in Issei Bay because she couldn't return to Ryugu.
That's right. Her name was Sobe.
Oh, she's come up in our research. So she was real after all.
You see, my sister that took on the family duty, it seems like she actually met Sobe herself.
She got to meet the mermaid?
After leaving my hometown and making a living as an armor diver, I'd all but forgotten about the duty I'd left behind. I had no idea what our duty actually entailed. When I finally learned the truth, I was crushed by regret.
Regret? Why?
You know, ever since I was a little girl, I'd always been fascinated by mermaids.
Understandable.
I read The Little Mermaid so many times, the pages of the book had started to wear away. I would see them in my dreams over and over. Back then, I wanted nothing more than to become a mermaid. It's what led me to become an armor diver in the first place. But the true nature of the family duty is only revealed to the one who inherits it.
I see. What bitter irony. But couldn't you meet the mermaid after you learned the truth?
My sister took pity on me and attempted to call her to meet me once in secret. My sister, Mare, even shared some of the things the mermaid had told her. But you know, Sobe was a cautious mermaid who never truly opened her heart to anyone but my sister. Me, on the other hand, she avoided. I was never even allowed as much as a glimpse.
Quite the bitter outcome.
Mare and the mermaid had grown close as friends. They trusted each other. They were inseparable. But she never once showed herself to anyone other than my sister, not even to a close relative like myself.
So she hid herself away for 400 years. Was such caution really necessary? Your sister must have been an incredible person to win the mermaid's trust.
Though I can only imagine how hard it must have been to be rejected by an existence you so deeply admired and longed to meet. Mare moved to Kamishima to be closer to Ryugu, for all the mermaid's sake. Then one day she got married and changed her name to Mare Minakuchi. She seemed so happy.
So she got married on Kamishima.
I was so jealous. I couldn't think straight, and ended up lashing out pretty badly. In an attempt to destroy my sister's relationship with the mermaid, I grabbed her family heirloom and ran off.
Ah, the infamous Tame Tobacco, yes?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Ooh. That almost came back up.
The mermaid was supposed to take it back to Ryugu, so our family had carefully kept it for centuries. And so the years went by. And 5 years ago I heard that Mare had died in an accident. That's why I came back to Toba. I thought that maybe this meant the duty would be passed on to me.
Of course.
But by then our parents and all our relatives had already passed away. There was no one left who knew about our duty. There was nothing I could do. I didn't know a thing, not where the mermaid was, nor how to call her. I'd given up. But while I was digging around, that man Ikoma found out I was a descendant of Taishima. You see, I was struggling to get by. I'd sold the information my sister had told me about the mermaid. Back then, I was making a living giving folks a glimpse of the Tama Tobacco for a ridiculous price.
And that brings us to the present, I suppose.
Before we discuss the trade, would you take the time to listen to my story?
Very well. I'm listening. In other words, since your sister died in that accident, your family's duty was never fulfilled. And now you want us to go find the mermaid for you?
That ain't it.
Dang.
I guess it must have been about 3 months ago. I was wandering the coast alone when the mermaid Sobe appeared before me.
Oh, you finally got to meet her.
She told me this. The sea on Ryugu's gateway has been lifted, so I will be returning. Your sister has done a great deal for me. I now ask you to return the Tame Tobacco.
Wait, what? The seal was lifted? Is that perhaps why the curse of the raging waves became active again? So what about the Tame Tobacco? Did you return it to the mermaid?
I was so overcome with emotion and excitement, I told her, I've hidden the relic. If you want it back, take me to Ryugu.
You said what?
Not being able to fulfill my duty had been weighing heavy on my heart. But in that moment, the pain was gone. On top of that, I figured the mermaid had come to fetch me. Being able to visit the land of the mermaids, there'd be no greater happiness than that. But Sobe simply told me it wasn't possible, and that she'd forfeit the relic, and with that, she was gone.
Oh. So the mermaid had already returned to Ryugu, then. Oh, I see a butterfly by Avi's face.
Ever since then, all I felt is despair and regret. I'm completely empty inside. There's nothing left.
But then the Tame Tobacco still exists, doesn't it?
Sure does, but... even with such a fancy name, in the end it's just a grimy old box. I opened it once. I was hoping there'd be some elixir of eternal youth inside or something, but it was completely empty.
I see. Even so, I'd still like to trade for it.
Are you sure? I don't see why, but whatever. Not like anything matters anymore. I'm just sick and tired of it all.
Ah.
My family duties has been fulfilled, or my family's duty has been fulfilled. That's what I meant when I said it was all over. In the end, I never did figure out what the Tame Tobacco was. The mermaid forfeited it just like that, so maybe it never had any meaning to begin with.
Okay. We've talked about that. We've talked about her duty. Damn it. Sobe has already returned to Ryugu. Even so, I will not allow myself to give up now, but I must get my hands on the Tame Tobacco first. We're somewhere off the coast of Toba City, accompanied only by the sound of the waves and the cry of the seabirds. Did she really hide the Tame Tobacco here, in a place with no landmarks whatsoever? And if it's at the bottom of the sea, at the bottom of the ocean here, how are we supposed to retrieve it? Miss Somikawa used to be an Alma diver. Could she be planning to go down and get it herself? I can't shake the feeling that there's something behind me. Can't shake the feeling. Is there a curse about to happen? Conditions of our trade. Hmm. Shikigami! Whoa! Oh, this is one of Cersei's abilities, a Shikigami. When someone's name is written on a piece of paper, she can make that paper fly towards that person. They're great for delivering messages or tracking down someone. I was pretty spooked the first time I saw it, but I've gotten used to it. Okay, fine. I did just go, whoa, but not because I was actually surprised or anything. Oh, is something wrong? It's nothing, don't mind me. I wonder if something happened to Circe. I'd better read the note. Let's take a look. Okay.
Ran into 2 suspicious people looking for Miss Somakawa. I drove them off for now, but be careful.
Seems like something happened on Circe's end. Okay, that's Yumiko and her errand boy. I'd better stay alert just in case, but I don't think I'd mention this to, Miss Somakawa. It'd only shake her up. Okay, now we can talk about the trade. So, what do you want in return?
I want to do whatever it takes to become a mermaid.
Huh? Miss Somakawa, don't tell me. You want me to use the curse stone?
Simply return into the sea. That's my only wish.
No, listen. There's nothing even remotely beautiful about the curse of the Forsaken Fish. All it will do is turn you into a some twisted half-fish, half-monster. All wretched, nothing but a grotesque imitation of a mermaid.
I know. Oh, that's fine with me. This curse is the essence of that mermaid's power. I am ready to offer up my life to her.
But
whatever you do, I'll just be drowning myself anyway. So you won't be dirty in your hands. All you have to do is use the curse, my wish will be granted, and you'd be doing me a kindness. That's all there is to it.
Just hold on a minute, okay? This is just...
The Tama tobacco is hidden beneath the floorboards of my house. Please do this for me.
Miss Somakawa, wait! She's already gone. Will she come back up if I wait just long enough? She's nowhere to be seen. Of course, she is an Ama diver after all. Is it too late to call for help? Would she even accept it? Okay. We... Doesn't look like we've got any other option. Damn it, what now? What do I do? Should I grant her last wish? It's surely no worse than helplessly standing about as she drowns herself. Right. She was serious about this. She's been dreaming about mermaids ever since she was little. I know exactly how this feels. Maybe a curse, but still, I will honor her wishes by unleashing the mermaid's power. It's how she wanted to go. I might be the only one who understands Miss Somakawa's feelings. If I don't act now, it'd be like denying her final hope and dream. Oh! So that's how we ended up. That's how we ended up. There. Okay, and this is just a rundown. Who is Sobe? And we don't even know who Sobe is. We haven't even seen her yet. Yeah, and then this is just a rundown of everything we did. Yeah, they did say that, so that ties in. Files. Not you. Can you show me a picture of the mermaid? Mermaid mummy. The invasion of Taishima. Trying to see if there's anything new. The relic. Or Kage. Wooden accessory. Okay, Tame Tobacco. Alright, alright. After that, we managed to quietly retrieve the Tame Tobacco from beneath the floor in Miss Somikawa's house. All that was left was to secure the dream of immortality. All that was left to secure the dream of immortality was to obtain mermaid flesh. Since Sobe had already returned to Ryugu, we placed our hopes on the last remaining mermaid, Nagame. But we had to act fast, otherwise Ikoma, or even those Paranormal Affairs Bureau psychics, would get in our way. Might have been the after effects of using a curse, but I got sick the next day and had to spend a full day bedridden at the end. At the inn, at the end of town, how pathetic! That's when I heard news that 2 female divers had gone missing near Toba. The fact that I'd been involved in both incidents made me feel even worse. Okay, so we did the wish to see off Somikawa, but ended up killing 2 other people instead. When Cersei heard the news, she just mumbled something with an unreadable expression on her face. I had no choice. There was simply no other way. Or at least, that's what I kept telling myself as I struggled to get out of bed. The next day, August 7th, we set out to gather more information on Nagame and the other mermaids. We traveled to Kamishima, the island where Mare Somikawa, or rather Mare Minakuchi, used to live. Okay. Let me take a little bit of a breather, refill my glass. Do the humanoid functions. I'll let the dancing boys keep you company, and we'll, get back to reading. Enjoy your BRB time. Alright, alright. Let's see where else we can go. Let's see what else lies ahead of us, what lies before us. Well, congratulations, Avi, you are a big fat murderer. Alright. Okay, arriving on Kamishima, summary of events. Avi and Cersei finally arrive on Kamishima and hunt for clues that will lead them to a real mermaid. Oh, look at the smirk on his face. He got over killing 3 people real fucking quick. Finally, after our long, arduous journey, we have arrived at the fabled island of Kamishima. Hey, are you alright? You don't look so good.
You mean you're completely fine? The whole area is literally oozing cursed energy. I didn't think it was so bad before. Is it getting stronger?
Can't you dispel curses?
Minor ones, sure. But this is on a whole other level.
I see. It might be best we don't stay here too long then. Just ask around as much as we can. When you feel like you've reached your limit, make sure to tell me, okay?
Got it. I'll do my best.
Alright, let's start by asking the locals about mermaid legends first. I'd like to ask around to see if anybody knew Mari Minakuchi as well. That's the plan. Let's move. Oh, that was... Oh, they got something in the middle there. Oh, hey, let's go play, go pay Yumiko a visit. We haven't spoken to these folks in a while. Yumiko and her partner learn about the threat of the Curse of the Raging Waves encroaching upon Kamishima and head over to warn the island. Oh, it's been a while since we spent time with Yumiko.
The Wakamura residence is just up the slope after you head through that alley. It's a bit of a maze, though. Want me to show you?
Oh, so it was that way. Thank you, we should be fine by ourselves, I think. She is... Can she only see in green and red?
Got it. Take care, then.
Ma'am? Is something the matter? No, it's nothing. I'll tell you later. Okay, we go to visit Old Man Wakamura. Old Man Wakamura. Derpa 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 der. Oh, let me get this straight. You're with the police. You expect me to warn everyone on the island that a huge storm is on its way and get them ready to face it? That's it in a nutshell. I'm so glad you understand. This is about the curse of the raging waves, huh? Way ahead of you there. I've been warning them for ages. Well, now you know about the curse. Can it be that a certain sorcerer acquaintance of yours told you about it? That's right. Unlike you phony psychics who crawl out of the woodwork every other week, my instructor's the real deal. In that case, I expect this instructor also knows how the curse can be lifted? No. Hasn't got that far yet, but it's not for lack of trying. Why, you saying you know a way to break it? Unfortunately, no. We've yet to determine the exact method for bringing it to an end. We're not without the means to do so, but first we require a map concealed in a mummified mermaid. Might you know of it? A mummified mermaid? What are you on about? This some kind of ruse? I knew there was something fishy about you. What you're really after? Go on, out with it. I assure you we wish only to lift the curse plaguing Kamishima. Would you be prepared to assist us in our efforts? Bah! I like the story. Trying to pull one over on old Wakamura, are we? Better than you have tried. Well, how's this? I ain't telling you another word. We're done here. Understand? I don't have time to listen to this hogwash anyhow. I got business to attend to on the mainland, so off with you. Leave me in peace.
Well, that is a shame, but I suppose there's nothing we can do. In any case, please do contact us if you learn of anything that might be of use.
Kiss my damn grits.
Not very cooperative, is he? I don't see why he's so suspicious.
He had his hackles up from the first. Perhaps he's so accustomed to dealing with rough customers that he can't believe anyone would be sincere. However, he does seem to be as interested in breaking the curse of the raging waves as we are. True, and this sorcerer of his must have some psychic ability, if they were able to perceive the curse. I wish I'd thought to ask their name. Oh, I think I have an idea of who it might be. It's a small world, this industry.
Oh, really?
Mr. Yamashina called them a big shot who's appeared on television, and I recognized their mark on the implements in Wakamura's room. It must be Suigen Gamyodo.
Gamyodo? Never heard of him.
No, they used to make frequent appearances on occult programs, though they always hid their face on camera.
Sorry, it's not ringing any bells.
Well, lately they seem to be ranking in a fortune as a corporate consultant for hire. The powers have a reputation for being accurate and potent, and their popularity has grown to the point where they can essentially name their price.
If they're that good, maybe we should let them take care of the curse of the raging waves for us.
Perhaps I should mention, Gamyodo's popularity has reached such heights here only very recently. Up until last year, they had a very poor reputation among others in the industry. In fact, as I recall, a list of notable psychics were kept by the Paranormal Affairs Bureau and were given the lowest rank. In other words, they were put on the same level as sham mediums riding the wave of the occult boom.
I'd forgotten about that list.
Well, their sudden rise to fame and fortune after changing up their business at the end of last year is certainly suspicious. I am more concerned about the possibility that they are using a harmful curse to suit the needs of the highest bidder. Regardless, I'm not sure I would trust them to handle this affair on their own.
You never know, maybe they just had a change of heart and started training seriously.
Even so, I highly doubt they would have time in their busy schedule to venture out here and solve this case in our stead.
Open the updates. Okay, Suigen Gamyodo. A mysterious sorcerer, although said to possess exceptional supernatural abilities, they have revealed nothing of their true identity. Both their age and gender are unknown. Suigen Gamyodo was previously most known for their prominent media presence, with numerous appearances both on television and in magazines. Wearing an unusual outfit that covered their face, they would demonstrate a variety of psychic abilities, including exorcism of possessed individuals, assessment of submitted ghost photographs, identification of guiding spirits, and conduction of telepathic readings at haunted locations. Their unique sense of presence and high rate of accuracy garnered them a sizable following, particularly among occult enthusiasts, and they were known to accept consultations from the general public as well as media outlets. However, the end of the previous year saw this once public figure suddenly withdraw from the spotlight. They now mainly operate behind closed doors, signing consulting agreements with particular companies to provide a variety of services, including management advice from a metaphysical perspective, divination of auspicious and harmful events, proposals to improve their clients' luck, and detection and elimination of paranormal disturbances. It is rumored that they will even cast curses on key personnel at rival companies, or conversely exercise curses from targeted victims for the right price. The undeniable potency of their spiritual abilities has earned them immense trust from both the executives of their contracted companies and other wealthy individuals, and their behind-the-scenes reputation continues to grow. This has resulted and a sharp rise in their consulting fees, placing their service far beyond what any average individual can reasonably hope to afford. One of the companies that currently have a contract with belongs to Shinobu Wakamura, a local Kamishima magnate. Among psychics, the opinion on them is more divided. Many have noted that their spiritual ability during the time they were openly active in the media was too weak to allow them to perform advanced techniques of any sort. To the extent that they were considered little better than a fraud, leading to suspicions about what prompted their sudden change in course. It is now almost impossible to find footage and articles from their past media appearances, and the names of the companies with which they have consulting contracts with are entirely undisclosed, obfuscating their identity, purpose, and true extent of their power. Okay.
Oh, you're the girl who showed us the way earlier. Good thing I caught you. Mind if we have a word? Actually, I'd rather not. I'm afraid you really don't have a choice because I already know that you're an 800-year immortal. Well, what are you talking about? Don't even bother. That shocked look has already given you away. Besides, you have nothing to fear. Your secret's safe with me. Come on, let's take this somewhere more private.
To the southern coast with Sato. Well.
So, in short, when you came to, you'd been washed up on the shore of the bay. Wakamura took you in. And that's as far back as your memories go. You don't remember anything about your life before that. Not even why you became immortal. No, except I'm pretty sure I was forced to eat mermaid flesh by someone. But you don't know when or why? No. So you've only recently woken up and you have no idea where you were or what you were doing before that? Pretty much. I get the feeling I was in some kind of deep sleep at the bottom of the sea for a few hundred years. But I've got no clue why or how or what led up to it. Interesting. So, well, how about we go over the facts one by one just to make sure we're on the same page? Okay. This is the southwestern coast of the island. We've got it all to ourselves right now.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything of any real importance.
Okay, Soda has been researching the ways in which spirit sense affects the human brain. So I'm sure he must be curious what effects longevity has on the minds and psyches of 800-year-old immortals. It appears she has a lot of gaps in her memory. Having never encountered an 800-year immortal before, I must confess I am bursting with questions. How does such a lifespan impact the structure of their brains and memories? It would be fascinating to find out. This girl, she calls herself Sato Shiranami. I wonder if she made that name up. Either way, I doubt we'd find her in the civil registry, though that shouldn't affect her life too much while she's living on Kamishima. If her readiness to give us directions earlier is anything to go by, she seems to know the island quite well. I just hope she'll be all right.
Okay. Alright, so we're wrapped up clear on you there. Talk about Sato.
Now, am I right in thinking you didn't eat mermaid flesh and go straight to sleep? You were up and about for a few years in between, at least. I think so. What interests me is the fact that you were already familiar with the term 800-year-old immortal. It is not a widely known concept. You must have been in the unique position to acquire knowledge of it before you went to sleep. Yeah, I have a vague memory of being told that. That's what we're called. But I don't know when that happened or where, let alone who it was. Maybe you'll remember in some more detail if we touch on some other topics. Guess we'll have to go by the process of elimination, work our way down the list until we get a hit.
Talk about the 800-year.
By the way, I was wondering, how did you know I was an 800-year immortal? Oh, that. These eyes of mine have what you might call a special ability. A special ability? If I look hard enough at someone, I can tell whether they're an ordinary human or an immortal. It's like you have a different colored aura about you. Really? Not only that, but it turns out with a bit of focus, even immortals can tell each other apart.
Wait. But who's saying is that so? Is that so? Oh, okay, it's a prolonged question.
Is that so? Oh, I just meant you look the same as anyone else to me. I'm not an immortal myself, you know. Really? I thought for sure you must be, since you really seem to know so much about this.
I guess we gotta jump over to the reason for visiting.
Come to think of it, I'd say it's about time we introduced ourselves. I'll admit we don't exactly look the part, but the truth is... You're with the police? Wow, I never would have guessed there was a paranormal affairs department. Honestly, I thought all psychics in this age were frauds. At least, that's the impression I got from watching TV. To be fair, the majority of them are, but for the record, our department is officially approved by the government. Really, huh? Back in my time, psychics were treated as onmyoji, and even held official positions in the Bureau of Onmyo, a public institution. Oh, you seem to know a lot about that. Were you involved somehow? Huh? Oh. I explained all that without even thinking. It just came naturally to me. Honestly, I'm as surprised as you are. I guess this means I must have had something to do with the Bureau of Onmyo. And it seems your memories aren't lost after all. All we have to do was find a way to trigger them.
Okay, the Bureau of Onmyo was one of the government offices under the Ritsuryu system, existing from the Asuka period through the early Meiji area. Based on the practice of Onmyodo, that generally oversaw such matters as astronomical observation, the creation of calendars, and management of time systems, and the divination of auspicious or harmful events. However, it is also said that it occasionally invoked powers beyond human understanding to handle the banishment and cleansing of disasters and impurities. The Onmyoji affiliated with the Bureau were not merely diviners, but were also bureaucrats, albeit ones possessing advanced training in mathematics and knowledge of astronomy. In some eras, their influence was even great enough to sway the very course of the nation. Their presence in the imperial court was highly valued. Spiritual practitioners in the service of the state were also formally inducted as onmyoji, operating under the banner of the Bureau. The current treatment of spiritual phenomenon as non-existent largely stems from the abolishment of the Bureau of Onmyo during the Meiji Restoration, in line with Japan taking on the principles of science and technology as the new framework for the nation. Over time, state involvement in spiritual matters gradually came to be seen as taboo. However, psychics continued their work to maintain public order behind the scenes, passing this torch down through successive generations until the establishment of the new Police Act in the latter half of the Showa period, whereupon their work eventually came to form the foundation of the Paranormal Affairs Bureau. Okay. Glad we got that taken care of.
So anyway, what are a couple of paranormal affairs officials doing on Kamishima? Working a case, of course. What else? Our job is to resolve the incidents caused by curses and paranormal phenomena, and wherever possible, prevent them from occurring. It's up to us to solve the greatest mysteries and do whatever it takes to keep the peace, which is usually a lot. Wait, does that mean that something's happened here? You don't know, huh? Know what? Chicken butt. Oh, sounds like we'd better fill you in a bit first.
We're working several cases right now, but I'd say only 2 of them are our priority. 2? Mind you, we've known about the first one for quite some time. The curse of the raging waves would come to lift it before it unleashes a huge storm on the southern sea of Kamishima.
The curse of the raging waves?
That's right, ever heard of it?
No, never.
That's to be expected. I imagine the islanders aren't too fond of discussing the disaster. Anyhow, that situation is ongoing as for the other priority case.
Right, you mentioned there were 2.
We actually only learned about this one after we arrived on the island today, but protocol dictates that we have to deal with any 800-year immortals we find.
What do you mean, deal with?
It's not all that difficult to understand. To begin with, 800-year immortals shouldn't exist in this world. And if their existence were to become public knowledge, it would lead to an outbreak of trouble of every kind. Heck, some people are already looking to gain immortality for themselves at any cost.
What?
For the sake of maintaining public order, it's vital that the world remain unconvinced immortality is just a myth. Or the world remains convinced immortality is just a myth. However... Stop her, Soto! Halt!
Can't you just let me go?
Calm down, will you? I hadn't finished. What I was going to say was, I've got no intention of doing anything with you, so don't worry.
What, really?
Surprised? But you should know better than anyone why that would be. You might be an 800-year immortal, but your time is nearly up. These eyes never lie. Sato Shiranami, for the first time in centuries, you're standing on death's door. In a matter of a few days, you'll be gone from this world. Am I right?
Yes. It's exactly as you say. I think. I've only got 2 days left now.
Just 2 more, huh? So you knew this was coming, but you chose to make a life for yourself on the island, even so?
Yeah. I've known all along, from the moment I woke up.
Well, now you know why I'm prepared to turn a blind eye. In just 48 hours, give or take, you'll fade away, and that will be that. Of course, you would have to swear to keep your identity a secret to the last. But provided you can keep your word... You can keep you word. It's supposed to be keep your word. Goddamn typo. Somebody update this shit. You're free to go.
I can and I will. Thank you.
Don't thank me yet. There's another matter I'll be needing your help with, if I'm to leave you be.
Another matter?
Right now, we're looking for a way to lift the curse of the raging waves. But that's Soto's area of expertise, so I'll leave the explanation to him. Right, this concerns a legend passed down in my family, the Kiryu clan, over generations. Oh, I should mention, this is something I've pieced together from various sources, so it may not be entirely accurate.
All right.
Long ago, south of Kamishima, there was an island called Taishima. It is said that over 400 years ago, it was beset by an earthquake and a tsunami, in an event so catastrophic that the island sunk to the seafloor.
Taishima?
However, the truth of the matter is, it was invaded and laid waste to. And in the aftermath, the islanders' intense hatred coalesced into the curse of the raging waves, which manifested as a tremendous storm.
I see.
400 years ago, so this would have been toward the end of the Sengoku period, correct? Yes, ma'am. The Hono-ji incident in which Oda Nobunaga ended his life took place in 1582, if you'll recall. Following this event, one of my ancestors, an accomplished onmyoji by the name of Harukage Tushimikado, Tushimikado, sacrificed a young woman, one of the survivors of Taishima, in order to steal away the source of the curse of the raging waves.
And onmyoji, Harukage, Tushimikado.
Wouldn't that make your ancestor a direct descendant of Abe no Seimei? Sounds to me like you share a bloodline with the onmyoji elite. Yes and no. While Harukage's powers were potent, he was never affiliated with the Bureau of Onmyo. In fact, he shunned his illustrious surname early and left the government service, preferring to uphold peace as a civilian.
Oh, so he was an eccentric and an elite. Gotcha.
Harukage's seal was not permanent, however. It would only endure for 4 centuries.
Wait, you mean?
Yeah, this was the last year of peace, actually. The seal's already broken.
Isn't that really bad?
For now, the curse appears to be inert, but the storm could strike at any moment.
Okay, so you need to find a way to seal the curse again, is that it?
Not seal it, break it. We're here to put an end to this curse for good. Shouldn't be too difficult, it's bound to have weakened a bit after 400 years. Indeed, that seems to have been a Harukage's plan for legend. Okay, that seems to have been Harukage's plan, for legend tells that he left behind instructions detailing how the curse could be lifted after 400 years had elapsed. However, the map that would have led us to these instructions has been lost.
Oh no!
It seems they were once concealed inside a model of a mummified mermaid. A mummified mermaid. Yet over time, this fact was forgotten, and at some point in my family's history, the object in question was sold to a foreign buyer.
But if you don't have the map, then what are you gonna do?
Well, we were hoping to find some clue as to the map's whereabouts here on Kamishima. But we've had no luck so far, and I reckon we've hit a dead end.
I see.
Apparently, Wakamura's been trying to find a way to end the curse of the raging waves himself. He told us he'd already warned the islanders about the impending danger, and refused to have anything more to do with us.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I just hope that'll be the end of it, but this is one job I can't afford to foist off on anyone else. Not entirely, anyway. Okay, we've done this already. Okay, so we can't close those avenues off. First, but before I forget...
Yes?
Keep our meeting today a secret, and don't let on to anyone that you know about the curse of the raging waves.
Okay.
People will get suspicious otherwise, even if Wakamura tells you about it. Be sure to act surprised. I figure that shouldn't be too difficult for you. You're an experienced secret keeper, after all.
I don't know about that, but I'll do my best.
Talk about Sato.
Oh, actually, talking about the Bureau of Onmyo brought back another memory. I'm pretty sure it was an onmyoji who put me to sleep using some kind of spell to keep me in a state between life and death.
Really? So someone intentionally put you to sleep under the sea? There must have been a good reason for it. From what point are your memories clearest, would you say?
Well, I guess about 3 months ago when the spell keeping me in that state under the sea wore off.
From when you woke up, then. I see. I know that look. Did you notice something? Not exactly. It simply occurred to me that if her state of shall we say, suspended animation was lifted while she was in the sea depths. Would she not have drowned and resurrected several times over?
Oh, yeah, I did. It was hell. I woke up under the sea, unable to breathe, drowned again, and came back, over and over again. It was horrible, and I still remember it. Every last second.
Jeez, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
The instant I came back, I'd swim as hard as I could trying to reach the surface. But even so, I think it took me about 3 days to reach the shore. I lost count of how many times I died down there. And finally, I came to in Kamishima Bay. Mr. Wakamura found me and took me in. And I've been living here peacefully ever since. No one's even suspected I'm immortal.
You're sure about that, are you? No one else knows?
Huh? Yeah, I think so.
Anyhow, I guess that settles the issue of how far back your memories go. If your lifespan is nearly at an end, that must mean you consumed the flesh of a mermaid exactly 800 years ago. Of course, you already knew that, didn't you? Not that you've been forthcoming about it.
Oh, sorry,
Don't apologize, it just proves you know how to hold your tongue. A valuable skill when you've got a secret to keep. Mind you, this fact does put matters in a new light. Say, Soto, what events took place 800 years ago? Let's see, 8 centuries ago from the present day. That would place us midway through the 1180s, when the Heian period was coming to an end. Right around when the Genpei War took place. Of course, the Heike! Exactly. Don't you think there might be a connection? Talk about the Heike. We are so backed up with dialogue choices here. Alright, next question. You wouldn't happen to know much about the Heike, would you?
The Heike? Why do you ask?
This actually pertains to one of the other cases we're working on, but we've got used to believe... Hold on. Hiccup, hold on. Okay, better now, Gotta refill that orange juice, too. We've got reason to believe that someone out there is using the curse of the Heike to commit murder.
The curse of the Heike?
Did you hear about those skeletal remains that turned up near here? It was all over the news.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Well, we suspect the curse of the Heike may be involved.
And seeing as you were alive 800 years ago, I was hoping you might know something about the Heike that could help us.
If we're right in thinking that you had ties to the Bureau of Onmyo, the timing matches up perfectly.
I might have known once, but nothing's coming to me at the moment.
Really? Shoot. On that note, I too have noticed a potential correlation. There is a legend that tells how Taira no Tatomori was presented with the flesh of a mermaid at Betsuo. Perhaps that was the flesh Sato consumed to gain her immortality? Actually, I'm pretty familiar with that legend myself. And those so-called mermaids that were caught at Betsuo definitely weren't the kind that could make anyone immortal. Oh, is that so? But if you ask me, Sato here couldn't have become immortal by eating mermaid flesh. Without the use of a relic called the Tamatebako. Now, does that ring any bells?
Huh? Wait, mermaid flesh? In the Tamatebako?
Oh, have you remembered something?
Yes, that's it. It was one of the Hike. A man wearing a suit of armor. We were on a boat. And he had the tama tobacco. There was mermaid flesh inside. He wanted me to eat some of it.
Warrior in armor? Could it be? So, sounds like you had ties to the Hike as well. And this man, he was the one who made you eat mermaid flesh?
Yes, I remember now.
What was his name? Do you remember that too?
I think it was Tomo something. Tomoshige? That's it! The man's name was Taira no Tomoshige!
Taira no Tomoshige? That was the name of one of Taira no Yomori's sons. Taira no Yorimori's sons. And Yorimori himself was the son of Tadamori's official wife. So you're telling me that Tadamori's grandson forced Sato to eat mermaid flesh? What do we know about this Taira no Tomoshige anyway? Not much, aside from the fact that he was part of the clan's main lineage. History has not seen fit to record his deeds, whatever they may have been. Well, he might not have been one of the clan's famous warriors, but to think you actually knew one of the Hike. You mentioned you were in a boat. Do you recall anything else?
I think we were being chased.
I do not wonder at that. At the end of the Heian period, the Hike were being pursued by the full might of the Genji's forces.
I was struck by an arrow, and I fell into the sea and drowned. But by that time, I had already become immortal. Later, I must have resurrected and washed up somewhere along the coast, and I guess that's how I escaped.
What about Tomoshige? Did he eat some of the flesh too?
I'm not sure. I don't remember that part, but I don't think I encountered him again after that.
If you'll remember, ma'am, that curse echo I witnessed earlier held the famed blade, Nukemaru. Perhaps Tomoshige inherited the blade from Yorimori, and wielded it with the intent to avenge his clan. After all, future generations would have surely held a memorial service for a warrior of renown like Yorimori, setting his spirit to rest. Tomoshige, on the other hand, is unlikely to have received the same treatment. If so, his hatred may have persisted long after his death, creating the curse of the Hike. It is a distinct possibility.
This curse sounds terrifying.
I have to say, I wasn't expecting a connection here. You know, Sato, it's starting to sound like you're involved in all the incidents that have gone down in these parts over the centuries.
Not by choice. Anyway, I get the feeling this Taira no Tomoshige wasn't a very nice guy. And that this curse of his sounds even nastier. Did it really still be active after all this time?
Certainly looks that way. The Hike's resentment is awfully persistent, I hear.
You don't think he could have held a grudge against me, do you?
Who knows? That would depend on your relationship with him back then.
Oh, man.
However, it appears that someone is actively wielding the curse of the Hike at present. Therefore, the targets of the curse would be decided by this individual, whoever they may be.
Another unknown, huh?
Curse of the Tomoshige. Okay. Kills an individual who meets the conditions by cleaving them in two. Figuring out the origin of the curse is all well and good, but it doesn't help us solve the case. We need to track down the person who's actually using it, or it'll keep happening. Indeed.
Hope you find them soon.
Okay, Or do we have to go back to talking about Sato?
By the way, you wouldn't happen to be concealing anything else, would you? Huh? No, It's fine, I'll not pry. Just so long as you answer quick questions.
Okay,
Now, there's something I'd like you to try and remember for me. Me? But... Humor me. Doesn't the story behind the curse of the raging waves ring any bells? Why should it? The girl who was sacrificed in order to seal away the curse of the raging waves 4 centuries ago. Might that not have been you, Sato Shiranami? But what? You have said to yourself that it was an Onmyoji who put you in that state of deep slumber on the seafloor. Does it not seem highly probable that you were the sacrifice who has held back the curse for the past 400 years? Oh man, You're right! That was me! I knew it! I'm sorry, I can't! No more! I can't do this anymore! What's the matter with you? Get a hold of yourself! Is it that painful to remember? We didn't come here to ask you to sacrifice yourself again, if that's what you're worried about. All those years under the sea can't have been easy on her, you know. She wasn't really asleep. Her brain would have still been active. Moreover, there is a limit to how many memories the human brain can hold. I would estimate the maximum capacity to be about 100 years worth. Are you saying she remembers being in that state under the sea? In a sense, I presume her memory is filled with stretches of utter darkness, her view of the sea depths. Any memories from before that time have likely been pushed deep into her subconsciousness. Then maybe they're not gone for good. There's still a chance she'll remember more, we just need to find the right trigger. Sorry, I didn't mean to freak out on you like that. Took me a second to get over the shock. Well, seems my theory about you being the sacrifice was right on the money. But it doesn't look like you'll be able to tell us too much about the past after all. Guess not. I wish I could have been more help. But, does this mean the seal broke because I woke up? We cannot be certain of that. Perhaps it was the other way around. The seal may have broken of its own accord, releasing you from your slumber. Either way, it's not your fault. Don't you go blaming yourself for any of this. Still, if I hadn't... Listen, your sacrifice kept the curse at bay for 4 whole centuries. That's half of your extended lifespan. No one could ask more of you than that. The rest is up to Soto, isn't that right? Yes, but I'm counting on your help as well, ma'am. So, any chance you've remembered something about the curse of the raging waves? Did that Onmyoji, Harukage, Tsushimikado happen to tell you how it could be lifted? I'm sorry. All that's come back to me is the fact that I was sacrificed. I don't remember the Onmyoji at all, what kind of person he was or anything. The most I can remember is that he said something about the curse being lifted after 400 years. That's all, Well, be sure to let us know if you remember anything else that could help us break the curse. I will. Oh, there's something else I'd like to ask you. Be my guest. How exactly do you deal with 800-year-old immortals? You sure you want to know? Huh? Since it's not going to happen to you, there's no reason for you to think about it. I thought it'd be something like taking away their immortality. Unfortunately, that's downright impossible.
Because your original body is long gone, you know.
But then, what else can you do?
You tell her, Soto. Must I always be the one to handle these unpleasant topics? Besides, I see no point in explaining something that she is already painfully familiar with.
Well, what do you mean?
Among the odds we psychics wield is a spell that can place even an immortal into a state of apparent death. Once that is done, they can simply be sealed in an underground vault for the rest of their days.
Wait, you mean it's the same thing that happened to me?
Essentially, yes, except that in your case it was for the purpose of making you a sacrifice. And you woke up long before your lifespan came to an end.
Yikes!
Mind you, neither I nor Soto has ever actually done this to anyone. Though I did hear a rumor that someone was dealt with that way a few decades back. Of course, there have been 800-year immortals who sought ways to become immortal again in the past. But they all failed, even if they managed to track down the mermaid who gave them their immortality. It was no good. That's why more than a few immortals have ended up living out their long lives in religious seclusion. Speaking of immortals, there's something else I had to ask you.
Yes?
Now, I'm not certain about this, but I get the feeling there's another 800-year immortal on Kamishima right now.
What?
Any idea who it might be?
No, I don't have a clue.
Are you sure about that? Because if there is another immortal here, I'll find them eventually, you know? Even if I have to scour the island from end to end. Does that change your answer?
No, I really don't know who it could be.
Alright, if you say so. Guess this means I'll have to search the island after all, as if I didn't have enough to deal with. Well, I'd say that about covers everything. We've talked your ear off long enough. It must be confusing, all this talk of the past. We'll not trouble you any further.
Right, thank you.
Still, give it a bit of time and something else might come back to you. If it does, please let us know. We'll be visiting the island again real soon. So you should have a chance.
Will do. I'll be going then.
So, now what? She's given us much to ponder. To think we'd encounter a living witness, I'd never have dreamt it possible. Sure, it was fascinating, but I can't say it did us much good, as far as our investigation is concerned. Besides, she's still hiding something, that one. You think so, ma'am? I do. In fact, I'd bet on it. She might even be up to something. But our primary objective here is to lift the curse of the raging waves. We don't need to start digging into anything else without good reason. On that note, do you really intend to search the island for this other 800-year immortal? Yeah, I figure we might as well look into that too, while we're here. Understood.
Oh, it's us, buddy. How you doing?
My apologies for the interruption, but there is an important matter I wish to discuss with you. Now then, I believe you have been privy to quite the interesting development. As Yumeko Shiki would tell it, Sato Shiranami is not the only 800-year immortal here on Kamishima. And so, I would pose you a question. There is indeed one more individual on Kamishima who has made a miraculous return from the dead. You have borne witness to the death and revival of this individual a total of 3 times. With this in mind, allow me to ask,
Who is the other 800-year immortal on Kamishima? Please tell me their name. Who we got? So I'm wondering... the other 800-year... So I mean currently on the island. Profiles. Made a miraculous return 3 times. Wait, could it... We saw... Is it Yuza? We saw him get his head chopped off. For starters. We had the incident where he drowned. But then kind of popped... It's gotta be Yuza. I don't know when the 3rd time was. Okay, yeah, because he drowned at the very start when the poltergeist pulled him under, but then we went right back to the gameplay. Okay, yeah, correct. The answer is Yuza Minakuchi. To think you got it in one go, you're quite the observant one. Every time Yuza ran out of oxygen while diving, he suffocated to death in the ocean depths. However, following his demise, he returned to life and was able to continue where he had left off. It would normally be highly unusual for someone to reach a diver rank of 18 on their first outing. Such a feat would be difficult indeed unless one was unburdened by the fear of failure or the fear of death. It was this knowledge of his own immortality that led him to displaying such an uncanny degree of confidence. As you may have suspected, Yuza Minakuchi became an 800-year-old immortal 5 years ago when he was saved by a mermaid. In truth, help arrived too late that fateful day, and it became the first time he lost his life. Okay, I figured it had to be he died during the disaster. But then popped right back up. I wonder what light this new information will cast on events going forward. With that, please enjoy the continuation of this tale. Okay. Let me take another quick breather, another quick potty break. And we'll catch up with Yuza. We'll catch up with the guy again. So let me get the dancing boys out to keep you company. Alright, let's see if we can at least knock out another Yuza section. Get you back up. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Tamakazuki. Oh, like two different branches here. Memories of the last summer. Okay, we'll look at this first. Vision of the future. Okay. So, Yuza heads out with Azami to go out diving before he suddenly mentions something he must do. Before returning to the island, the pair go to a certain location at sea. Yeah, been a while since we broke out that voice. So, what's this important thing you have to do, Yuza? Sounds like it must be a pretty big deal. It is. I just hope you'll believe me. Listen and don't fly off the handle. Please forgive the interruption. I have an important announcement to make. The moment you have been waiting for has arrived. Everything is ready for you to proceed. On August 7th, returning to Kamishima after his dive, Yuzo Minakuchi embarks on the fight of a lifetime. For unbeknownst to him, at this precise moment in time, a slew of predicaments would await him everywhere he turned. As for this really important thing he has to do, that is, of course, preventing the tragedy of Kamishima from coming to pass. The advent of the 400-year-old curse of the raging waves draws nearer Kamishima with every passing moment. Even so, do try to remember that Yuza's true aims are to locate a mermaid and uncover the truth about his mother. Ooh, I can hear the guitars. Will Yuza Minakuchi succeed in overcoming these challenges and fulfilling his objective, you ask? That is entirely up to you, and the actions you choose to take from this moment forth. Thus concludes my announcement. I wish you good fortune. Now we got some endings to get through, I take it. What? You think Kikako is plotting to work a curse that'll massacre on the island? That'll massacre the island, or cause a massacre on the island. Yeah, you might find it hard to believe, but I'm sure about this. You're gonna have to give me a second to take this in. This is way heavier than I was expecting. I mean, a curse? I mean, I told you about the Tomokazuki and all, but how did you even find out about this? Have you got any proof? Well, I saw the future with my own two eyes, and I'm afraid I don't have any proof I can show you right now. You saw the future? Yuzu, if this is some kind of prank, you better cut it out right now, dickbag. Seriously, this shit isn't funny. If you're just fooling around, I don't know if we can be friends anymore. Do you think it's easy for me to call someone I'm on friendly terms with a murderer? I couldn't say something like that unless I was dead certain. I need you to trust me on this, Azami, before it's too late. Oh man, you're not making this easy, Yuza. I can't, I mean... No, I understand. I won't ask you to believe me until I can present you with solid proof. Until then, I still need your help. I can't just sit back and let this happen. Okay, I won't try to stop you, but I'm not doing anything drastic till I'm sure we're doing the right thing. That's all I needed to hear. Thanks, Azami. But for real, what's gotten into you, Yuza? What do you mean? I know you're headstrong and all, but this is way beyond what I'd expect from you. It's like you're a totally different person. Come on, you're exaggerating. I'm the same old Yuza I've always been. His body and his mind are no longer his own. Okay, Kikako. Huh, what are you two doing here? And what's with the get-up, Yuza? Don't tell me you've been diving. Kikako, do you have a minute? I heard you were heading out to the northern shore to fish in the bay today, so I came out to find you.
Oh, where'd you hear that? I only just decided that this morning. I didn't even tell anyone.
Okay. Ooh, they got the little keychain. Found one. Mockingbird 11 discovered. You look like another type of penguin. Okay, Mimikin Menace. We're on the northern side of Kamishima. Not many people come here to fish. I can tell Azami is trying to believe in me. That's a good start, at least. Yuza, are you sure about this? Just so we're clear, I'm leaving the talking to you. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Kikiko was looking at us suspiciously, but I guess that's to be expected. We surprised her here alone, after all.
Well, what's this all about? If you just want to talk, can it wait till later? It can wait till after I'm done fishing.
Right, this is where it all begins. This is my chance. I have to find a way to change the future. But I don't have any evidence, and I doubt I can just talk Kikiko out of this. You don't do something like that on a whim. Whatever her motives are, they must be powerful. Even if I somehow manage to get her curse stone, there's still the risk that whatever destructive impulse has a hold of her would drive her to make the tragedy happen some other way. That's why my best bet of containing the situation is to try and distract her. I'm going to change the future one step at a time. There's no rush. After all, since we came here instead of heading back to the port, things are already different. So, Kikiko, when you left the island, you did some kind of office work, right?
Oh, that's true and all, but why are you asking?
I was, just wondering if you might have preferred your life back then. I mean, you must have had more important opportunities to meet people and go out on dates and all that.
Stop right there, as if I don't hear enough of that as it is. What's it got to do with you, anyway?
Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. I was just wondering if you still kept in contact with anyone.
Sure, a few people, just a few.
Would you say any of them had a big influence on you? Huh?
Seriously, what's this all about?
Oh, nothing really. I was just curious.
Listen, working for that company wasn't exactly a huge break in my career. All I did was pour tea and answer the phone.
Huh. Okay.
So, were you really off diving? You sure you should be doing that? If Chie finds out, she'll give you an earful, no doubt about it.
Don't I know it? Seems everyone thinks I bring this island bad luck just by being here. Yuza.
Well, sure, some folks might say that, but it's not as if you've done anything to deserve that kind of talk. I don't see a problem with you becoming an Ama diver myself.
I appreciate that.
Just today, plenty of folks told me not to go diving because a storm is on its way. But when they don't talk sense, I just ignore them, and so should you.
I've been wondering. Are you unhappy here on the island, Kikiko?
Huh? What makes you think that?
I don't know. I just get the feeling you're not planning to stay here as an Ama diver forever.
You normally play the fool, but it turns out you're pretty sharp, Yuza. Truth is, I can't help thinking of the future. You can earn a decent living as an Ama diver if you know what you're doing, but all these old rules and customs tend to get in the way. I've been trying to change them here and there, but it's no good. Everyone's too stubborn to listen.
I see. No luck, huh?
Mark my words, nothing's ever gonna change around here. And just between you and me, as much as I love being surrounded by nature on this island, the culture here just isn't for me.
So that's how you feel.
Honestly, I'm about ready to break ties with this place. Not that anyone else needs to know about that. Don't go spreading it around now.
Okay.
Frankly, I had no idea you were so interested in diving, Yuza.
Now, we've buttered her up adequately.
You've been passing around Kamashimaru hand mirrors around to everyone, right? Yeah, I have. Sounds like someone keeps their ear to the ground. So, how many have you given out? Who's got one already? I don't know. Haven't kept track or anything. But if I had to guess, I'd reckon it'd be about 20 or so. Why, though? You want one too? If so, I'll get one to you later. Oh, no thanks. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, 'cause the mirror was the device that, enabled the murder to happen.
Hmm? Suit yourself. They're pretty sweet little items. They're pretty sweet little items, if I do say so myself. Anyway, Yuza, did you really come all the way out here just to chat? Something like that, but I've wasted enough of your time. Thanks for hearing me out. Come on, Azami, let's go.
If you're sure.
See you later, Kikiko.
See you later, Kikiko.
I think she realizes we're on to her.
August 7th, 1980X.
Right, I know we just got back. But there's no time to waste. We gotta track down and collect all the Kamashimaru mirrors Kikiko handed out as soon as possible.
Why?
If I'm right, these mirrors are actually the targets of the curse.
No way, seriously? Still, man, all this curse business is a bit much.
Look, given what people think of me, I'd have a hard time handling this on my own. I'm going to need your help, Azami. I guess we'll have to try and convince everyone the mirrors are defective or something, but we'd better not let Kikiko find out what we're up to.
Yuza. I want to believe you, and I'd like nothing more than to help you out. But before I lift a finger, there's something I gotta know.
Alright.
See, I got a pretty good idea what made you change out of the blue like this.
You do?
Okay, when you were diving before and you came face to face with the Tomokazuki, something happened, didn't it? You haven't been the same since. Come to think of it, does this have anything to do with your search for a mermaid?
You're right. I should have told you the full story to begin with. I've been in such a rush I got ahead of myself. You're right, something did happen to me. And I'll tell you all about it right now if you want to hear.
I'm all ears.
First of all, tracking down a mermaid is still my end goal. That hasn't changed.
At least something's still the same.
What I'm trying to do right now started when I found out about the danger Kamishima is in. And I realized I had to do something to prevent it. Are you still with me so far?
Sure, if I knew the island was in danger, I'd want to protect it too. But how did you find out about that anyway? Earlier you said you saw the future. When did that happen?
It was when I encountered the Tomokazuki. The moment our hands touched, everything went dark. And then the future unfolded before me.
So it sounded kind of like a vision from the Tomokazuki.
A warning? Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. A stream of images filled my mind all at once, together with a rush of understanding. It's like they were imprinted into my memory. I don't know how it works, but I believe what I saw. I know what's going to happen here on Kamishima if I don't do something to change it.
So that's what started all of this, huh?
Yuza, did you know there was a Tomokazuki there? Is that why you picked that spot to dive? No, it's like I told you.
I was hoping to find a clue there, since that's the spot where I encountered a mermaid once before. I never would have dreamed I'd end up seeing a vision of a tragedy like that. For all I know, this might have nothing to do with mermaids at all, but now that I know about it, I just can't forget it, can I? Of course not. Now that I know the full story, you can count on my help too. So, seeing as Kikiko is the culprit, I'm guessing we need to collect those hand mirrors to save everyone? Yeah, but she's not the only threat. There's more to this. More? There are actually 2 calamities on the horizon for Kamishima today. 2? You gotta be kidding me. The first is the massacre caused by Kikiko's curse. And the second is the curse of the raging waves, which has been brewing up a violent storm for the last 400 years. It's going to hit the island tonight. Now you've lost me again. I can't keep up. For starters, why is all this happening on the same day? I don't know, I get the feeling it's just an unfortunate coincidence. And there would have been nothing I could do about it either, but since I've been forewarned, I have a chance to prevent it. I'll explain the rest on the way. There's no time to lose. We have to track down every last one of those mirrors. Okay, so something opened... Ooh! Okay, something opened up for Yumaro. Something's opened up for... Something opened up for Avi. Okay. So... Oh, let's check on the new birdie. Okay, where was that? New burb, new burb. Okay, Hill Mina, Mockingbird 11, Mimikin Minas. Menace! Oh, Menace! Like Mimikin Menace. Okay, I see what they were going for. I see what you were going for. A chirpy and cheerful member of the Blues' Brutal Beaks Hoodlum Band, having taken a liking to tit-for-tat and his rambunctious ways, he spends his time regaling anyone who will listen with tales of tit-for-tat's exploits, all made the more colorful by his skill at mimicry, a habit which has only contributed to the diminutive delinquent's infamy. Okay, was there another bird I could grab onto? I got nothing behind my head here, do I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So am I roughly like halfway with the birdies? Okay. Go to files. Yeah, halfway there, halfway there. Let's see. Reach a total of 5 and 20. Collect fun bonus content. Actually, I'm wondering... Okay, so you can go back and replay segments. Okay, maybe I'll keep the birdie stuff in mind, alright. Like I said, I wanted to get an afternoon stream out of the way. I will be preempted by basketball in another 45 minutes. So, we'll call it here. I think maybe, hopefully, the next time, you know, we can sort of get through the end game. I don't believe there's any sports happening tomorrow, or any important b-ball games happening tomorrow, so I want to thank you for watching, lurking, being a part of this. Let's take a look-see. Let's take a look-see. Yeah, everybody's gotten a decent chunk of time in. Okay, we haven't raided Dr. DeBay in a little while. He's playing one of the hack/.gu. I don't know. I never played the hack/something.hack. That whole franchise. I remember its anime ran on Toonami a long time ago. But I will be sending you into that direction, I suppose. And I will try and... We'll try to finish this off sometime tomorrow. Try to wrap up the story sometime tomorrow, and then we'll be free from the clutches of the Mermaid's Curse. But until then, this is Boncho Smith, signing off, and as always, good night. Good afternoon, because we're not quite close to night yet. But good whatever time it is, and I will catch you all in the next one. Later.